The 2012 MV Agusta Brutale 1078 RR. The top-of-the-range MV Agusta Brutale 1078 RR was starting to show its age, so the company decided to upgrade it. The new 2013 model features a boost of power, a new engine and a series of other technical modifications made to improve performances. Transition from the 910R to the 1078RR involved the introduction of some new components that have given the Brutale RR 15 more HP and 2 kg more of torque. The updates included new decals and color schemes, fresh instrument panel graphics, revised suspension calibration, a stronger 1078cc engine, a slipper clutch, resized catalysers and Brembo monoblock brakes. The bike retains the same chrome-molybdenum trellis frame as the previous model. The frame is perfectly capable to handle the reconfigured engine power output, as it was initially designed to resist to huge torsion and flexing parameters. Due to the power increase and the stronger brakes, the forks have been also modified. Hit the jump for more information on the 2013 MV Agusta Brutale 1078 RR. Press release. Brutale 1078 RR, sheer power. The Brutale looks so wicked that it almost cries out for even more performance. Going that bit faster is what every rider craves. Power is addictive. It had to be even more brutal. MV Agusta's response was this, the 1078 RR. Now with a new engine and other technical components dedicated to performance, the top-of-the-range Brutale leads the way in the sport naked sector while proudly flying the Made in Italy flag. The 100% MV Agusta engine is only for the select few who can manage the 150 HP and more that the new 4-cylinder unit puts out. The decidedly muscular appearance of the new Brutale says it all and gives the rider an adrenaline rush before he even turns the key that kicks the mighty engine into life. Just looking at the Brutale starts you dreaming, listening to one sets your pulse racing, and riding one makes you fall in love. The 1078 RR is not just a motorbike, it is an incarnation of a true rider's personality. Others want to be such a person. They want the same type of courage that will let them take a machine to its limits, that will let them choose a real machine and not just something normal. There is nothing is normal about the 1078 RR, life is faster, more colorful, more vivid. This is what a Brutale is about. The new engine size now asks even more from the suspension and brakes. They need to be stronger and more efficient to redress the balance and give the bike that sure-footedness and superb rideability that typifies MV Agustas. There can be no doubt that the 1078 RR will be the utmost naked. Design. 1078 RR means simply the best, the Brutale at its peak. This includes looks that stand out. Apart from the new instrument panel, the new color schemes express grit and determination. They include pearl white, black, anthracite black and silver, red. The latter is obviously based on MV's long tradition of racing. The skin of the Brutale 1078 RR lets us see the components that have been changed in all their beauty, the new brakes, the new fork components and especially all the little details that finish off this work of art. They make all the difference not just to the rider but also to an observer. It is the same as looking at a masterpiece in an art gallery. Equipment: 10% more power. Transition from the 910R to the 1078 RR involved the introduction of some new components that have given the Brutale RR 15 more HP and 2 kg more of torque. A breakdown of the changes includes decals and color schemes, instrument panel graphics, revised suspension calibration, 1078cc engine, slipper clutch, resized catalysers, Brembo monoblock, one-piece brakes. The main focus has been on finding the right balance between the new components. Power and tractability hand in hand. The new Brutale has inherited the very best of MV Agusta technology. With its new 1078cc engine based on the racing F4 RR 312, the new Brutale is a sure winner. The aim wasn't so much about seeking maximum performance as of taming 4 cylinders to work together to offer a perfectly balanced ride. This is no easy feat when you're dealing with 154 HP shoe-horned into a compact frame like the one on the Brutale. The bore and stroke have been increased to 79 and 55 mm from the original 76 and 50.1 mm. The compression ratio has been kept high despite the significant increase in capacity from 909 to 1078.37 cc. Maximum power output has increased by 15 HP, thus setting a new record for the sports naked with 154 HP at 10,700 revolutions per minute. Torque has also been improved, going up from 96 Nm (70.7 ft per pound) at 8,000 revolutions per minute to 117 Nm (86.2 ft per pound) at 8,100 revolutions per minute. The removable gearbox remains exclusive to this segment of the market, and the speed and precision with which it changes allows the bike to reach its maximum speed of 166.04 miles per hour in next to no time. Such performance is due to a large extent to the adoption of new 46 mm throttle bodies taken from the F4 1000R as opposed to the 48 mm units on the F4 R312. These units also dictated the choice of a longer final drive ratio, 2 less teeth on the crown wheel, thus moving from 15/43 to 15/41. The EBS engine brake system was replaced with the slipper clutch used on the F4 Sports version. It is a mechanical slipper clutch system with ramps and roller bearings. In seeking to offer a softer response to the throttle, MV engineers fitted a new larger exhaust catalyser that meant more room to maneuver with emissions in seeking to meet Euro 3 requirements, and this allowed a richer mix. The end result is more flexible, smoother engine even under hard acceleration. A tubular frame and per MV tradition. Retaining the chrome-molybdenum trellis frame was a simple choice for MV. The trellis frame is more than merely aesthetically pleasing, it capably handles the reconfigured engine power output and, last of all, is easy to work on when so required. In the first 750 version of the Brutale, the frame was designed to bear theoretical torsion and flexing parameters greater than those it would in fact have to handle. This was because we knew that eventually we would arrive where we are today. Therefore, no change is needed. The geometry is the same as are the other settings, as proof of the fact that we knew right from the start where we would end. The rake is 101.5 mm (3.99 in), the wheelbase measures 1,410 mm (55.51 in), and the maximum overall length is 2,020 mm (79.52 in) for an overall weight of 185 kg (407.8 pounds). The classic single rear swingarm sets the scene and is a symbol of technology and originality. It is simply a work of motorcycling art, but its compactness and maneuverability are both down to MV Agusta's racing experience. Changes to the forks. Due to the introduction of new brakes and the increased power output of the 1078cc engine, the forks have been modified. The ends now have lugs to carry the calipers, while internal calibration has been modified to handle the increased loads the suspension will have to deal with. Great care has been taken to ensure that none of the comfort that a bike like the Brutale 1078RR provides its rider is lost. One small change regards the travel that has been increased to 130 mm (5.11 in). The type of forks remains unchanged, and the Brutale boasts a pair of upside-down 50 mm Marzocchis to keep the front end glued to the road when the rider is using the machine with a certain degree of zest. The rear shock absorber remains unchanged, and the suspension has been calibrated to handle the power output. The suspension system keeps the back end in line under the hard acceleration on exiting bends that the 154 CV engine encourages. Rebound, compression and spring preload can all be adjusted on the Sachs monoshock unit. New Brembo brakes. The Brutale 1078RR now features the most powerful and exclusive brakes available. The system features race-bred monoblock or one-piece radial calipers like those fitted to the F4. The aim of the new system is to increase stopping power and reduce braking distances, but at the same time decrease the amount of pressure needed on the brake lever and thus tire the rider less. The Brutale 1078RR can brake later than the competition and is already set up for the track with its new monoblock radial calipers. With the Brembo system, this Brutale is now Italian from head to toe. The highly original forged aluminum 5-spoke star-shaped wheels are also Brembo and measure 3.50 by 17 inches at the front and 6.00 by 17 inches at the rear, with 120/70 ZR17 and 190/55 ZR17 tires. Specifications: Magneti Marelli 5SM ignition injection integrated system with Mikuni throttle body induction discharge electronic ignition sequential timed multipoint electronic injection 1338 109.7 km h 681 mph at 11,600 rpm 1634 150.8 km h 93.6 miles per hour at 11,600 rpm 1830 seconds 180.3 km h 111.9 miles per hour at 11,600 rpm 2030 213.7 km h 132.7 miles per hour at 11,600 rpm 22 29 243.2 km h 151.0 miles per hour at 11,600 rpm 19 23 265.0 km h 164.5 miles per hour at 11,600 rpm. Quotes: Faster and faster, the MV Agusta Brutale 1078 RR is a terrific naked sports bike. It certainly isn't for beginners and can be a bit hard to master, but its beauty, performance and unique character make it worthwhile. Bike touring, beautiful, hard, super fast and good fuel economics, that's the best way I can describe the MV Agusta Brutale 1078 RR.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.